My name is Lindsay,
My name's Emily.
and I made the film Second Shift. The genre is a thriller or more like maybe like scary vibe or creepy vibes. Today, for my CCR, we're doing a mukbang. Show the camera. Okay, first bite. The main idea of my film was basically Lena's an employee at a coffee shop and she's stuck doing the late closing shift, right? And she thinks she's all by herself. She doesn't realize there's somebody else in the building because the figure it basically hides from her. Even though it's in plain sight, she is worried because she doesn't know who it is. And at the end of the film, she's done. She rushed through her job, and then she sees the figure moving in plain sight from across the coffee shop. My film is mainly inspired by the movie The Exorcist, the one from 1973. It was inspired by it since I used multiple backlighting techniques that The Exorcist used in their film, and also by the psychological fear. The horror conventions I used for my movie was mostly the really dark lighting and backlighting that I used to show the first scene of the figure. Sadly, it was pretty difficult to manage the technique, but with special editing programs, I was able to do the best I can, which still wasn't my best, and I had to edit in a shadow figure. My film is very similar because there's this scene of in The Exorcist. It's just a whole figure, and there's like you can't see their face, you can't see anything from them, and excuse me, and there's just lighting coming from them, but at the same time you can't see anything because of how dark it is. Here's the scene of where I first presented the figure. Wait. And here's the comparison. This is the scene from The Exorcist.
Okay, Lindsay, who is your target audience?
My the audience I was targeted most towards to is mostly adults and teens who enjoy thriller movies and horror movies. I also mainly targeted towards adults who grew up in the 1970s, who grew up with the Exorcist movie, and maybe they get a sense of nostalgia, and they may enjoy my movie.
Where would your movie be streamed at?
My movie would probably be streamed at in YouTube since I can lower the prices reaching from $2.99 so more people can enjoy it without having to pay a subscription or high cost like unlike other movies. And since I am making it as a nostalgic movie for the 1970s babies, then they can enjoy it at a low cost.
Has your camera work improved throughout your films?
I honestly have to say yes because in the film before this one, which was my first independent film, um, I didn't use that many camera angles. For example, I didn't use high or low angles or stuff like that. In my most recent film, Second Shift, I used multiple angles, like for example, low angles. I used tracking shots. I did a pan, and I feel like I've done more shots in more different types of angles and camera works since the last time I did it.
Do you think your editing skills have improved?
I think so because my last editing app that I used for the film before my last one, I used only CapCut, and although it is a pretty easy editing app to use, I think it's very like for newbies, and I now use DaVinci. It's still a free program that still gives me all of the like necessities and even more. I even thought it was gonna cost me money, but no, it was completely free. And it has like a lot of like different types of. It has multiple options to change the color of things. So I think that helped me the most to be able to make the backlighting be stand out more. Like I had mentioned before, the editing software that I used was DaVinci. DaVinci Resolve is a pretty good editing app if you don't want to pay any monthly cost, and you still have all the professional stuff. And to be honest, I'm not very professional with editing, and I honestly didn't understand like half of this stuff, but I still worked my way through it. What I used for as a camera, I used my phone. It's an iPhone 16, the regular one. As a lighting setup, we basically set up a bunch of lighting equipment in the bathroom, which was where the the figure first appeared, as I showed before. That we were planning to use multiple, but it was not needed because if I used more, it was gonna be less of the lighting that I wanted. So we only used one, and it worked perfectly. For Lena, I used the ring light and put it above her head, so I was able to create the little butterfly under the nose, which is the paramount lighting. Okay, for the costume of Lena, basically she wore a blue shirt, some blue jeans, and she wore a green apron. Okay, the reason I picked these colors is because they represent self-awareness, and in this situation in the film, Lena becomes self-aware that she isn't by herself in the job, even though when she thinks she's supposed to. Some social issues that my film could have represented is basically the figure is always lurking around, even when Lena doesn't notice it. This could represent many of the workers that have been assaulted or attacked by somebody that they weren't aware of in maybe outside their work, or maybe they broke in inside the job and all of that stuff.
Okay, well you should. Okay, go. The freak? These are new, so they're not dirty. Okay, start. Okay. Huh? Wait, you have to do that one again. Okay, it's fine. Okay, wait. Okay. Let me just record just in case. Okay, you're gonna. It's a extreme, not extreme close up. It's a close up of your face, girl. So you're gonna be mopping.